Hello, Scrapbooking Buddies. Debbie Martin here, and we are about to take this project recipe kit and we are going to turn it into 4 pages. So when you get the project recipe kit, this is the one for Croptoberfest for 2023. It comes with directions to make these 4 beautiful pages. But sometimes you want to maybe do something else with it, or you need a quicker, easier idea. So I'm going to show you, this is the Debbie's Paper Pack to Pretty Pages with this paper pack, okay? So if you would like the instructions are free for the rest of the year. So the rest of 2003, you can get this ones we're going to be using today free on my website, okay? I will have that below, but that is just Paper Pack to Pretty Pages. And you can get it free. So it's right here, paperpacktoprettypages.square.site. It will also be below this video too. Once again, that would be free for the rest of 2023. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to make some really fun pages with this. So what we do with any other Paper Pack to Pretty Pages, with the instructions, I tell you what to do and give you step-by-steps. So we are going to pull 2 pieces out. We're going to pull this one with this beautiful little owls all over it, and the one with the tan and the navy stripes. So we're going to set the rest of it aside. We're going to be using everything in the kit today, and we will just go through with the instructions. So when you get it, you always want to do step 1, step 2. Then I have pictures in here so you know what it's going to look like, and then big cutting guides, because I love a big cutting guide. And it also tells you which direction to put the paper, because that's super important too. So we're starting with this, and it says using the cutting guide from page 3. So we'll pull page 3 out right here. Okay. Correctly in the trimmer, we're going to put the navy tan stripes, and we're going to use the owls, both of them correctly in the trimmer, just like that. So let's go ahead and pull out our trimmer, and we're going to cut that right now. We're starting with the owl. Okay, and our first cut is going to be 5. Make sure you can see that. We'll put that straight there on the 5-inch line. And we're going to do that same cut again, 5 by 12, with the owls going the correct way in the trimmer. Now you're going to be left with this 2 by 12-inch piece. So we actually only need it to be 10.5. So we're going to put it down here at 10.5, and we're going to cut off the extra. Make sure it's nice and straight. And we don't need this little piece, so you're going to set that aside. Now we're going to do the same thing with this navy tan. So the stripes are going to go horizontal, and it tells you how to do that on the instructions. So we're going to put this in at the 5. So it's a 5 by 12, another 5 by 12. Okay, just like that. We're left with this 2 by 12, and we're going to put it in at 10.5. And this is extra. We're going to need that. So now we go back to page 1 of our instructions, and we're going to see what it tells us to do next. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our instructions. Using the cutting guide from page 4, we're now going to cut the white and the navy cardstock. Now this comes in your kit. You don't need anything to make these pages besides all the stuff that comes in this little kit. So here's what we're going to be doing with that. We got 4 by 4 mats and 4 by 6 mats. So we're going to start with our white. We're going to put it in. We don't need these little pieces at the 4-inch line to start with. Make sure you can see that. Get your paper nice and straight. Okay, 4. We're going to take that and we're going to turn it sideways, and we're going to cut it 4 again, and 4 again. We're just going to stack all of our mats up. Now we're going to make 4 by 6 mats. I like 4 by 6 because your pictures are usually 4 by 6, and you can almost always trim off a little off the top and a little off the side. So we did a 4-inch, and then that would make it 4 by 12, and we're cutting it into 2 4 by 6 mats. And we're going to do that one more time. That's already the 4-inch, and that. So now we're going to do that with the navy cardstock, the exact same thing. We're going to put it in at the 4-inch. Now, if you like quick and easy ideas, I'm going to invite you right now to subscribe to the page. and click that little bell for notifications, because that is what I'm all about quick and easy page ideas. Sometimes we do full pages, sometimes we do 8 pages, sometimes we do 4, sometimes we just do little fun little techniques. So click that subscribe button. So the next cut we're doing is the 4 again. And we're doing the 6. Once again, we're just piling all our mats up. I like to cut everything first, and then we can put it all together. So this is 4 already. We're going to go in at the 6. Okay. So now we're done with our trimmer. We're going to set that aside for a minute. We're going to go back. Now we did all the steps on page 1, so we're ready to go to page 2. So you should have all your little pieces here together. So I'm going to pile up my 5x2s here. We've got these, we've got piled up here, and we're ready to get our pages that are our base pages. So our base pages on this one was the tan plaid. So find that in your pack. It's the back side, probably the one you didn't see. So this is our tan plaid. And then we have the beige leaves, okay? So those are going to be our background papers. I love working on the 2 of the 12x12 mats because you can line it up, and I'm going to show you why it's so quick and easy when you do it this way, okay? So you just put your paper right in the 12x12 slots right there. Now we're going to take 2 of the 5x12 tan and navy stripe strips and adhere them to the inside middle of both pages. So let's just grab those 2 right here. And see, it kind of gives this, I like it, it kind of gives you an illusion. Now, just when you pick them up, here's a little tip, because I want it to look like it's flowing from page to page. If I flip that over, you don't get that same look, cohesive look. So just when you pick them up and do that, make sure that they're doing this, you're putting them down the same way you cut them, okay? So let's go ahead and start sticking down. As soon as I can find my adhesive, there it is. So we're going to go ahead and stick this down. So you're going to flip it over, stick it down. I love the Croptoberfest this year. I love the little owls. And if you haven't seen the owl punch, oh my goodness, it's so cute. Super cute. We're not using it today because we're just doing super simple pages, but it is super cute. I actually did a video. You can check my YouTube channel for that too. On I made a Santas with it. I made a little old man with it. I made some gnomes with it. They're just super cute. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stick that down, and we've adhered to the middle of both. We're going to apply a 12-inch vine sticker on the outside edges. So it's kind of going to cover up the rough edges that we have there. So we're using them straight from the stickers that was in that kit. And I'm going to put the little point on there. And I'm going to want the same little point to end up right there. Nice fun look right there. So I want this one to do the same direction. So I'm going to come down here, put the point right, and that's actually right at the 7. Okay. I've kind of pulled it taut so that you don't get that bubbly look when you stick it down. Okay. So we've applied that. Now we're ready for our mats. So let's go ahead and grab our mats. And here's what we're going to do. I like to place my mats first. So we're going to do one here. Then we're going to add some little sticker embellishments. And we're going to do one of these over here, one here. And I think we're going to do one here, and one here. And let's use a couple of these like that. Okay, we're going to save the rest of these for our next 2 pages. Now I'm going to want to straighten these up before I put them down. So just kind of, I've centered them kind of in here. That's why I love using a mat too. I've got this like 1/10 of an inch from there. I'm going to have that 1/10 of an inch in there. Then I'm going to center it in the opening. So we've got a nice straight clean look when we go to stick them down. So we're going to do a little sticker cluster up here and over here. So we want to make sure that we save a little bit of room for that. Okay. And I think we're going to go ahead and put our mats down. Okay. So once you've got them laid out how you want. So here's a tip and trick with your mats. I love using the repo tape because if I decide when I'm going to actually use these pages. Maybe fall fun, we go to the pumpkin patch or something else. If I'm using a repo tape, I'm going to be able to pick them up. So you saw how much I put on there. Do you have to put that much? No. You could actually just go in and do this, okay? And I just put a little bit in the center, and that would be fine too. I'm going to line this up right there. That would be fine too, because if you need to move it, maybe this picture would need to go this direction, and you need to move this up, or you could do 3 of these this direction. So you don't always know the direction your pictures are going to go. But then again, I don't let that bother me, because if I have a picture, say it's going to go this direction, this was my picture, I wouldn't have a problem putting that there and then journaling right here. Okay, so keep that in mind too. If you stick them down, you can always, there's a workaround. Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and put this one down here. We kind of lined it up there. So I want to do the same thing with that. And put this down. Now these are a very fun class. You could do these on Zoom. You could do these at a workshop. You could have friends over and come and do that. You can see that this one is not lined up perfectly, so I'm just going to fix that. And because I put that one down, this one's a little crooked. The other benefit of using repo tape is that you can see you can fix it, okay? So here, I want to make sure, you can see I kind of started it right there on this line. I'm going to want to do the same thing on this side, just to give it a cohesive look, okay? And we're going to line that up. I came about right there. We've got 10, and we came down about right there, okay? And then center that. And then we're going to do some little clusters, okay? So what we're going to use first is grab your stickers. We have these beautiful like little leaves, and we're going to put that, I kind of want them to be centered in there, so I didn't completely stick it down all the way, because I want to see. If I just do that, I'm going to put this heart in the middle, okay? So if you want to use foam squares, this is where I would suggest using them. I do love foam squares, and I would pop that up there. Some people don't do it, so today I'm just not going to do it with it, but it looks very fun with the foam squares. And I don't foam square everything, okay? Just pick and choose what you want to do. So over here, let's do this little owl. So let's pull out these 2 leaves. We're going to kind of stick them together like that, like this. We're going to bring that in and kind of center that. Okay. Like that. Then we're going to bring this little hoot owl. We're going to bring him in here. This is one I would foam square if I was going to foam square. If you're not, that's totally fine too. And we're going to use this little happy days are here. Now I'm not going to stick that down all the way, because I want to tuck something underneath here. I'm going to grab one of these little tiny leaf pieces here. I'm going to stick that kind of underneath, just giving it a little, fill in the space a little bit more. This could be another one. If you wanted to pop up with a foam square, you could. Then we're going to grab 2 little hearts, a white one and a blue one up here. I'm going to bring that right in here. And you could also pop that little one up if you wanted. Okay. So there, we've got our, oops, no, we got a little sticker cluster down here. I almost forgot about that. We're going to use 2 of these little leaves. Okay. So once again, we're going to put them together. We're going to bring it down here. So our little owl can sit on there. We have this little tiny owl right here. If you wanted to foam square him, you could right there. Then we're going to use these moments right next to that. Okay. And we're going to use 2 little hearts. We're going to use this blue one. And if you look down here, really hard to see, little tiny white heart. Okay. So pop one of those off. So one right there and one right there. Look how fun that is. Okay. Once again, you could foam square 1, 2, 3 things if you wanted. You don't have to. And we're done with our first 2 pages. Let me grab our next 2 pages. So your next 2 pages that you need are these 2. So we are going to use the trees on one side, And when I'm using this, if you'd rather use a different side, go right ahead. You do not have to do the same thing I'm doing. Okay, so now we're going to pull out our instructions. We're going to take the two 5x12 owl strips and we're going to adhere them to the outer edges, 1.5 inches from the outer edges. But before we do that, we are going to take them and we are going to give them a little V, okay? So a quick way to do a V is to find the center. So we don't need to fold the whole paper in half, but I did pile one on top of the other. So both of them are on top of each other. And I just want to put the corners together. I'm going to give it a little tiny crease just right there. Now I'm going to cut from there to the corner. So you're cutting from the folded side whenever you're doing a V, from the folded side to the corner. Okay, let's give it a nice straight cut. Okay. Using bigger scissors, this is a little bit easier. So we're going to use one of those over here, and we're going to use one of those over here. Now we're going to do the same thing with the two little strips that we had. So what we have is we have this one and we have this one. So these are the original two strips that we had. It doesn't matter which side you have up because these are the sides we're ultimately going to use. So we don't care if what's going on with the owls. But if you want to change it, you go right ahead. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to fold it. Here's the folded edge. That's the edge we're going to cut from. And we're going to go from the folded edge to the corner. Okay. So we're going to be using this beautiful leaves on this side, and we're going to use this on this. So now this is where I love using the mat. If you don't have a mat, you're going to want to pull out your ruler right now because we're going to be putting some mats on this, and it's kind of a little bit important that you know where they're at because we want them centered. So we're going to start with this, and this is going to come 1.5 inches from the corner. So when you're using your mats, here's your one. That's a 1.5 inches. So now we know exactly where to put this one. So go ahead and put a little adhesive. Now when you're putting it on, because we had a little bit of a fold there, I would put a little bit extra right there so that it's going to keep it nice and straight. And we're coming in 1.5 inches. So there's the 11. We're going to come over the 1.5 inches. And it's going to end up at 5.5. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. So go ahead and put your adhesive on. If you haven't seen the accessory pack, the paper pack is beautiful for this. So we're coming in 1.5 inches on this side. Okay. Now we're going to take these two pieces and we need to come in and we need to put them 2 inches from the inside edge. So it's 2 inches and 2 inches. Okay. So this is where we're going to, once again, see how it's a little wrinkled? That's why you'll put a little extra adhesive down there. Make sure your paper's nice and straight on your mat, because if it gets off, then you're going to have your ribbons off. So we're going to put that at the 2 inch mark and make sure that's straight. And do the same thing over here. I love quick and easy pages, so I'm hoping you're enjoying this. So at the 2 inch mark again, make sure it's nice and straight. Okay. And now we're ready to put our mats down. Okay. So I'm going to put this mat kind of right in here. This one right in here. Look how sharp that looks, like in the ribbon. I like the way that looks. And the reason we wanted this is now we want to center these mats. Okay. So, I don't know, I kind of like the darker mat on the bottom. I feel like sometimes darker colors are heavier and they look better on the bottom. So you could do like that if you want, or if you want to mix it up and you want to do it like that, that's fine. And that way they're not matchy right there, but get them the way you want. What we're going to be doing is we're going to do a little stickers up here and over here. So you are going to want to save a little room for that. So I think we're going to put this right here about 2 inches down, and we'll do the same thing on this side. I think we're going to be totally fine. So go ahead and adhere your mats. If If you're working alongside of me, if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause. That's the good thing about videos, is that you can pause. So I'm putting this right about the 10-inch and then just centering it, okay? Do the same thing over here. Okay, and we're going to put that right there. And then we're going to come back over here and we're going to put our little 4x4 mats. Okay, and we're going to do that about an inch down, and then you're centering it. So it's kind of easy to do. Once again, it's going to be between the 5 and the 1. Another reason I love using mats. It just makes it so easy. And I have those duct taped together. Yes, so I'm super fancy like that. I'll show you at the end. But yes, it works great. And then you can fold it and you can put it in your bag. So if you haven't tried that, I'm saying try it, girls. Try it. Okay. And we'll put this down. Awesome. Now we're ready for our stickers. So here's what we have left. We're going to be using these little leaves right here. Okay. We're going to bring that over. Kind of put it in right there. Okay. Then we're going to be doing, if you're going to use foam squares, this is where I would say pop this up. I have popped mine up on my other one. This one I'm just choosing not to because I know some of you girls don't like to use them. So I'm going to put that right in there. And then we're going to throw a couple little hearts. Got some brown hearts right in here. 1, 2. Okay. Now we're going to come down here. We're going to do a little You're a Hoot. I would maybe foam square that if you wanted to. And we'll use a couple little, once again, you got to search for the white hearts. They're kind of hard to find, okay, because of the white background. We'll put a little white heart and a little white heart right there. And then we'll come up here for our last little sticker cluster. And we're going to use these leaves right here. I love the little owls. They're so cute. Now this little owl is going to be sitting. There's a little center in there. Let's get that out. He's going to be sitting on that branch. So if you wanted to foam square him, you could, but you don't have to. And we're going to do a little hooray next to him right in here. And I think we need a couple more little hearts. I cannot wait to use these pages. They are super fun, and I hope you've enjoyed making them alongside of me. We've only taken a little over 20 minutes to do these 4 pages. And voila, we're done. So thanks again for watching. Remember, you can get this PDF free for the rest of 2023 by going to my website to get it. And happy scrapbooking!